handle it with, kidding gloves, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's true. They have to put on the kid gloves, but at the same time, they can always use things to explain different stuff. Like, I mean, there's so much in the air. You've got to think Metatron still has the tablet,
Yeah.
which is dangerous in its own. Rowena has the spell book, and what's with Crowley's new powers? We kind of see it
Yeah.
when Sam goes after Crowley, and he shoots him with a witch's brew bullet or whatever, and Crowley's just like no. Like Crowley almost turns into actually, this is the best way to put it. Supernatural this season reminded me a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, kind of towards the end of
Mm-hmm.
its run.
Mm-hmm.
Crowley reminds me of like Evil Willow now. We got really close to the character and they really humanized the character. And then when Sam goes to off Crowley, all of a sudden he's just like bored now. Boom. Powers wake up. He starts flooring people left and right. And then Rowena Six Castiel on Crowley.
Oh boy.
Now with that jump cutaway, of course, we don't really know what happened necessarily because if ever there's a world that is, show me a body and I might believe they're dead, it's Supernatural, and we saw none
I
of
would
that.
like to see Castiel power up, like become like a super archangel kind of thing.
As long as he doesn't go all I am God again, yeah.
No, yeah, no. Like kind of close to that, but without being like power hungry. Because
Yeah,
like he's become a little bit of a pushover. It makes me sad.
yeah. Without the Leviathan corruption, seeing Castiel with power again would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, he got his grace back, so that's something we don't have to worry about anymore. We don't have that ticking time bomb, so that's cool.
Hmm.
But I don't know how. I'm trying to think how Crowley and Castiel could both walk away from that fight, and it really makes me upset that Rowena, who wasn't even aware before, like for the longest, she just recently met Castiel. Like, oh, what are you? I'm an angel, and he's just super honest. He should
Yeah.
have told her that, but like she suddenly knows how to like command angels too. Like, no,
Well, you gotta
Rowena.
think she was in the book,
Yeah, I
and,
know.
and that's kind of what I was explaining to my buddy is he was like, well, how is it she suddenly can control angels and do all this? I was like, she had the book. Not only
Yeah,
did she had the book for an extended amount of time. Didn't mean she wasn't reading it. She just wasn't going to release the mark of Cain until such and such event happens.
she was biding her
So,
time clearly.
yeah, sitting there with the codex, reading it, learning its secrets, and trying to figure out the best plan to escape.
I'm just being a fanboy because she's really like upsetting me. So I'm like, no, stop it! Stop being so clever, and everybody around you being so stupid. You're gullible. No. Ugh. But yeah. BFT makes a good point in the chat. He says even if they show the body, people can still come back in on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, are they dead or are they supernatural dead?
Yeah. How many times have we seen Dean's body torn to shreds just to come back there? Yeah.
How many times has the trickster died? I mean, like Gabriel's come like, oh, he's the trickster. Oh, trickster's gone, and that's kind of been like a running thing since season one, season two.
Good lord. Yeah. And
Yeah,
hey, they killed Death. What does that mean?
I don't think they killed Death.
But the look on his face was like, oh snap. No
Yeah,
one's ever tried that before.
it was very much kind of a very bleep you Winchesters look. Why again? But that's another thing I kind of debated because my buddy's like, they killed Death. What happens? And I was like, I don't think they killed Death because if they killed Death, um, Oscar or whatever, Oscar couldn't die, and Rowena couldn't complete the spell.
That's true.
She couldn't kill the thing she loves most if Death doesn't exist anymore because there'd be no one to take her.
But isn't Death just a augmented Reaper, like the lead of the Reaper? But there's still other Reapers. We have Team 9000 saying that there's still Reapers in the world, so people still die. But it's got to be some kind of repercussion. Like you use Death's strongest weapon against him.
That's the thing. There are Reapers, but with Death being killed, the Reapers hold no more power.
Oh.
And you have to remember, Death himself has openly admitted that he couldn't remember whether him or God are older. He's like, it's been so long I don't remember, and I can't die until I can reap everyone. Like in the end, Death even says basically he will not die until he can reap God, because everyone has to die. It's the one certain rule. So he is that kind of fixed point in time, if you will.
Oh man.
So I
My
mean,
mind is getting blown right now.
and so they're like, when I'm a fanboy, I am a fanboy.
Yeah, I like that whole bit. Like, and they don't. That's one of those things where they don't have to really like. It's a rhetorical question that they stated. Like, who's older, God or Death? But it's just cool that it's there. It piques your interest and gets you realizing, man, there's a lot of history here. Ooh. Yeah. The emotes in the chat. So yeah, I'm really excited for season 11. I'm pretty sure I'm like 95% sure there's gonna be a season 12. I still know if they go past that without there being a lot of filler. But I do like their filler episodes. They're little silly meta fiction type things and like what if kind of episodes that really have nothing to do with anything else. Like they're not really part of the continuity.
Yeah.
I want to do musicals and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, let's do a musical. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's trap Sam and Dean in sitcom TV land.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
They're having fun with the show still, so it still has. I'm playing devil's advocate. I definitely feel the show still has a lot of oomph left to work with. I mean, heck, I believe Stargate could have kept on going, but I'm probably in the minority there. Talk about Supernatural, Rakdos. But we're gonna move on so we can wrap up the show a little early today, just in case the vacuum starts going off again. Taking advantage while we still have a little bit of quiet. Yeah, they killed Death on Supernatural, the season finale. Spoilers. Still worth watching. Don't let us spoil the show stop you. But it's a lot of show to catch up on if you have to start from square one. Actually, I talked to a guy that said he watched season 1 of Supernatural and loved it, but never got a chance to get back into it. I'm like, wow, the show has changed a lot since those days. Because in the beginning, it was very much a freak of the week kind of show. They were like establishing the rules for different monsters and how the hunter society kind of works, and introducing characters. That's my only gripe is that I would like it. I know it's basically the story of two brothers, but I would like it to be. I want more of a support cast, not just Castiel. But I feel like there's a void now that Bobby's not there as the father figure. Maybe they don't need a father figure anymore, but they kind of need another partner. Like all the other hunters that come in now, they just seem to like die. We have the sheriff, the girl that used to be with Bobby briefly, but like she kind of comes and goes, and she can kind of step up, but I think she doesn't want to be a part of that life. I don't know. I feel like they need some more support roles there, like recurring characters. And and don't touch Castiel. I will be a fanboy and rage quit if they kill Castiel. I'm serious. He's just so lovable. Like he's just so naive. Like, oh, this is food.
You know what?
It's delicious.
As a special little bonus thing for anyone who hasn't seen it, in the chat of our live viewers, I'm gonna put a link to something I saw that I thought was really well done, and it'll be a thing that Supernatural fans will.
Is it a mashup of the best Castiel moments?
No.
There's a lot of Castiel memes out there too.
It was a it was like a parody video kind of thing done, but it was done really well.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm gonna put it in there for the fortunate few who were live, so that it's just kind of there. Check it out at your leisure. But I people who have that deep fandom will get a lot of the references, and they'll start well, just watch, you'll see it. It's really interesting. It's really well done. It covers kind of the most recent season, and a few other little Easter eggs for deep-seated fans.
Yeah, I think another thing as we move on, you mentioned the connections, the similarities to Buffy, and I love Joss Whedon's work, even though he's kind of a jerk sometimes as a person. But I feel like I missed a lot of the zeitgeist with Buffy. I got it to Angel, but by then it was kind of like, all right. I had my own reasons for it. There's a lot of stuff going on in life, and I kind of missed the boat on a lot of it as it was happening.
Yeah.
But Supernatural, I've been with it from the beginning, so I feel like that's I'm getting that experience that I didn't get with Buffy, and I can see very much where it's like, to me it's kind of like a culmination of like Buffy and dare I say Charmed. I was gonna say it.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that. Like, here's the thing: during Buffy, there was a writer on Buffy, Marty Knox, and anyone who was a Buffy fan remembers Marty Knox as the person who kind of took over seasons 4 and 5, and they were really deeply more drama than action compared to the other seasons. And fans kind of outraged a little, and it feels like that might be where we've hit with this last season of Supernatural. It was very much more about the the drama and the way the brothers are interacting and viewing each other. And
can I also say too, I kind of feel like the men of words thing.
Men of Letters.
Men of Letters, thank you. I don't think that doesn't sound right. Men of Letters. I feel like that was very short-lived. They could have done more with that. Like they're operating out of that base, but I find it really hard to believe that people that are so knowledgeable and wise and spread out in the underground were taken out so easily. Like there's no remnants left except that one old dude. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it goes to show that evil can just kind of get you when you least expect it. You can't let your guard down.
Yeah. I would like someone to reestablish the Men of Letters. That'd be cool. Like, I don't know. There's something that could be a fun little subplot.
I think that's like perfect for Sam, the researcher.
Exactly.
Like, make him a man of letters, and Dean's kind of the stoic hunter. And
because they need to, I think at this point with all this stuff going on, I think they have to get to the point where they realize we can't do this by ourselves. We need to like really help the other hunters out, get them more organized, and share knowledge and protect that knowledge. Because that's the most powerful thing is that knowledge. This whole season has been the pursuit for knowledge, and no one seemed to really know anything until the very very end, where Death dropped the knowledge bomb. It's like, yo, that cane mark, yo, don't get rid of it, man. Bad things will happen. He didn't talk like that, obviously.
Although it would have been pretty comical.
Oh my god, he's so like, he's got like the most calm demeanor, and you imagine him just going Southern Ebonics and like getting crazy. Oh my goodness, that'd be great. Someone needs to like do a parody there. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up so soon, so we're gonna go into the gaming verse, talk a little bit about stuff going on in the video game world. Wait, hold on. Lord Rakdos says something here. The correct order is the first 3 episodes of Buffy, then all of Angel, then the rest of Buffy. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No.
Is that right?
No.
Because I was under the impression that Angel took place after Angel disappeared from Buffy, when like Buffy basically said, "I'm done with you," and he was like, "Aw."
That is much more how it actually happens, because you have to sync it up. You can't put that it's the first 3 episodes of Buffy, then all of Angel, because we hadn't even met Cordelia,
right,
in the first season of Buffy. So it's like, no, because the first 2, like the whole first season basically was kind of like the master, or and that
you guys are killing me. I hope you know you guys are killing me, because now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch Buffy.
Go ahead. I especially recommend episodes Hush, 6, 7, Once More with Feeling. Um,
You wanna do like a Buffy mini segment until Doctor Who starts back up?
oh, dude, go ahead. I've watched all. That was probably one of my earliest fandoms. I watched it
Okay.
all. I would rewatch it all.
Okay. I might have to. I might have to. I started doing it not too long ago, but I couldn't stay in it. Not because I was enjoying it, but I didn't have someone to keep me to talk about it with. And it's important to have that kind of water cooler conversation, that
Oh,
zeitgeist kind of going on.
I would love to have a good comparison. Just one episode, I want to have a little thing where we compare and contrast Blink from Doctor Who with Hush from Buffy.
Okay, that sounds cool. Yeah, cause I rewatched like about a year or two ago. I rewatched season one on Netflix, I believe. And I think, man, there's a lot of potential here, but I don't know. I just was overwhelmed by the sheer number of episodes. I was able to blaze through Charmed pretty quickly, fill in the gaps of what I didn't get to watch as it happened on that. I don't know. But Buffy and I just kept missing each other.
Well, that's it. It's happening. It's got to happen. We gotta get your Buffy education up.
We're gonna have to coordinate because that's something that I could clearly see that Rakdos is into it, so we could get him involved in it because he's not as big into the supernatural. BFT, are you into Buffy? Let us know if you guys would like us to cover that as a little mini kind of segment. While we're still in this Doctor Who downtime.
Yep. A
But,
brief trip to Sunnydale.
There you go. Of course, we'll have to do it over the course of time. There's no way we're going to cover all of Buffy before Doctor Who starts back up. But, we'll make a dent. We'll coordinate after the show. But, the gaming verse. The Heroes of the Storm hype continues. And it's got to bring attention to this. I'm not going to go off on too deep on this because this could be very rant-worthy. We kind of touched upon it in the last episode of Horseplay Live. But Forbes, every time they write a gaming-related article, I cringe. They really don't get the video game industry. They understand business, but they don't get the video game industry. Not even from a business perspective. This author on the article on Forbes basically said that HotS, Heroes of the Storm, is unnecessary, and it's neither special nor unique enough to carry Blizzard into the future beyond WoW. What?
Oh, I kind of imagine the guys at Forbes are like the parents from Dirty Dancing.
Oh gosh.
They're just like, we don't want none of your Rassafras and games and your Vicia players. No, you keep that over there.
Pretty much. I don't know what world they live in. Even if you're just a little exposed to video games, you know better than that. Blizzard has a wonderful track record of taking a genre that may be already well established and making it accessible and then completely blowing it up. So League of Legends may very well be the market leader right now with 65 million registered users, and the biggest esports scene and also the most concurrent online gaming hours of any game right now. But there's still tons of room. It's not an accessible game, and it's not a game I can recommend to friends. And that's what they're missing the point on. I could tell friends, play Heroes of the Storm. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll have fun with it together. I can't tell them about that. Like say that about League of Legends to my friends. I've tried it before, and it's like they go into it and they do what I tell them not to do. Don't play it by yourself. They play by themselves. They're like, oh man, that community is really toxic. I'm not gonna play ever again. I was like, well, let's play together. No, I don't want to touch the game anymore. It's got herpes. Like, okay.
Yeah. It's like, oh, but that's the game you play if you want every kid to yell and use foul language. If you want to find every kid that screams in Walmart that you just don't want to deal with because you're so ill-mannered, you go to League of Legends. Like, that's...
Oh, dude, you hit the nail right in the head. Like, that's one of my things when I go to Walmart, and we spend a lot of time in Walmart. We should own stock in that company, for Pete's sake. But the kids that, like, throw a fit and they throw something on the floor or throw stuff up against the store display and just, like, completely act up because they don't want to do what their parents are telling them to do. And then, the mother dragging the kid into the bathroom to give him a whooping. And I'm like, oh, come on. Anyway. That is a good metaphor. I can relate to that so much. Another article, Team Liquid, they have a Hero League 101 article. It's an unofficial article. It's actually in the forums. It's a great write-up by a player that's a rank 1. I think his name is Daunt. Daunt X, I believe is his name. I agree and disagree with the points made in this article, but the advice is mostly sound. Mainly, I just think the approach to team compositions is rather flat. Like, he did a little pop quiz. He says, your team picks Falstad, Vala, Jaina, and someone else. And you have these heroes available to you. Who do you pick? But he didn't think about like who the other team picked, and I think that was included in there. And he didn't also consider like, well, who are you best with? That's also very important. And what level of competition are you playing at? Like, there were a lot of variables he didn't consider. Did you do the quiz? You said Tyrael.
I'm looking at it right now. I just I wanted to read a little bit of the article before we got there, and it's Tyrael, Jaina, Falstad, and Illidan, and it's like you should clearly pick a support, but who should you pick? And they list.
I'm sorry, it's X Daunt, not Daunt X. I was close. Yeah. So it was pop quiz time. You are the 5th pick on your team. Your teammates have already picked Tyrael, Jaina, Falstad, and Illidan. You clearly should be picking a support. Who do you pick? Rhaegar, Tassadar, Brightwing, Uther, Malfurion, Lily, Tyrande. A lot of those picks are actually really good. Now, I know your last pick, and the other team already, I'm assuming the other team already picked other things. That's why your last pick. So, if these heroes are available, then it's no longer a matter of counterpicking. I get that. But Brightwing would be a solid pick. I don't know. Lily is always a strong pick, I feel. But I forgot who he said was the pick.
I don't know who he said the pick is. I know who I would pick in that situation.
He said Uther, by the way.
He said Uther. See, I figured kind of that he would say Uther, but I personally would pick who I'm best with.
Right, and that's very important. Also, he mentions that clearly the composition is a dive comp, so it means very aggro when you jump in, right? With Tyrael doing his judgment and diving in, and Illidan having tons of mobility. I get it. It's totally. Who else was in there? What in the original pop quiz? Jaina and Falstad. Falstad has dive capability. Jaina can get the CC in to lock the enemies in place. So I get it, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as that. So I think it's a bad quiz. It's saying that there's always that gets people the mentality of there's always a good pick and everything else is the bad pick, and I think that's a bad thing to teach players. But other than that, he makes good points, and I understand the logic. I think the important thing to take away from this article is that you should have some kind of logic, some rationale before you just randomly pick. His rationale here is first, having Illidan and Tyrael means that the support will be operating in a dive comp, which would make Lily a strong pick because of her mobility. She can keep up with the rest of the team, right? Burst healing becomes necessary. Okay, so she doesn't have as much burst. Okay, I get it. The rest of the team picks are very light on CC in general. The stuns that Uther can provide become invaluable in these circumstances and set Uther apart from the other premier burst healer in the game, Rhaegar. Illidan also greatly benefits from cleanse, which Uther can provide, assuming he's not locked himself. No other support checks all of these important boxes. No other support checks all of these important boxes, which is why Uther is generally considered to be the best overall support hero. I disagree with that. It's situational. Uther's plethora of CC also makes him a counterpick to Illidan. Picking Uther deprives the enemy of the team of the opportunity to take one of Illidan's counters. But if you're 5th pick on your team, that means the other team already picked, so that's kind of a bad point, no?
Unless your team was 1st pick, in which case they still have one more after you.
Right. Okay. Right. But that would mean there's a 4th and 5th pick on your team, and then the other team,
right,
5th pick. Yeah. So that means someone probably in this situation, then that means that someone on your team probably already like auto locked, and you're stuck in that awkward position. Like, well, now who?
Someone in that situation insta lock Tyrael, because I can tell you right now, Jaina, Falstad, and Illidan aren't making it to the last 2 picks on any team.
That's true. Good point.
So someone insta lock Tyrael because they're like, oh, this is my best warrior, and I main him all the time, and I'm so used to playing on League of Legends with guys like Tyrael. I'm gonna be so good.
Oh gosh, and yeah, Raktos, that was a good voice, by the way. Raktos also said a ton of people are losing levels on HotS because the open beta players finally reached league play. Yeah, that it's gonna be scary. I think we might have to stick to pre-mates in Hero League from now on, and start doing some T League now as I start to fill it up. My BFT says his kind of pick is assault rifle. Works pretty well. Okay, I guess she could go Tychus or
Raynor. Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So good logic, but sound logic, but it's not as cut and dry. It's not. You can't have a one size fits all kind of mentality in this game. He's a rank 1, so I that gives his opinion more weight. It doesn't mean that it's 100% right, and it doesn't mean that's what's gonna work for you. But if you could take this advice with a grain of salt, I would recommend the TeamLiquid.net article alongside geekyanswers.net/blog. We have some good stuff there, and I think our advice is more universally sound. And it lets you formulate your own personal play style without saying, this is how you have to play. Because I think that's a very bad way to approach it. But anywho, I know I said I was going to go off on a rant in these articles, but I did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Thomas.
I'm just like, it's a Team Liquid article. That's cool and all, but I'm going to just throw it out there. As far as Heroes of the Storm goes, I'm a Team Complexity supporter. Complexity blinks. Best support NA.
I have to say, I'm really excited to see a lot of variety finally in the competitive meta. That's good because people should realize there's a lot more different team comps and hero picks you can make. What the heck? But anyway, what else do we have here? Do you mind if I get a little bit of Xbox One talk?
No, go ahead.
I gotta get into this. And let's see. Sorry, I just got interrupted. I completely ruined my flow. I just asked for 2 hours uninterrupted. But anyway, I have to say, in spite of all the trolling I got for being on Xbox One, I'm really enjoying it. I actually played it almost exclusively yesterday. I had a me day. I played Assassin's Creed Unity. I played Sunset Overdrive. I played Titanfall. I played some Neverwinter on there. Gosh, I play Pinball FX too. I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. Killer Instinct, I played that too. Assassin's Creed Unity, it's actually really awesome. They worked out a lot of the glitches. It's still buggy as heck, but the only thing I would say is bad about it is that the world is tiny in comparison to the other Assassin's Creeds. It's super small, and I get that it's a deeper world because you could go into buildings and stuff, but it just feels like there's a lacking of content. Like I'm a third of the way into the campaign, and it doesn't feel like there's that many multiplayer missions, and that's kind of like the main thing there. So that's a little disappointing. Titanfall, however, a game that many people have forgotten about and many have written off because they say it lacks content. There's tons of ways to play that darn game. Tons of gameplay modes.
Yes, sir.
And it's actually really freaking fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I went into this game with the lowest expectations possible. Because people were saying, oh, it gets really boring really quick. The Titans don't feel that great. You can play Mech Warrior or some other game if you want better mech combat. And I'm like, I don't see any of this. The guns handle really well. The parkour is amazing. The stealth elements are cool. Like it's fast paced. It's frantic. I was really enjoying customizing your classes and your Titan loadouts. There's a surprising amount of depth there, and then all the different playlists they have. Like you could do a 8 versus 8 pilots only combat mode. You could do the hard point domination where you have to control the points, kind of like Battlefield style. At least the Battlefield's what comes to mind. Other games do this, obviously. The
Call of Duty Domination.
Yeah, Call of Duty Domination, or kind of like King of the Hill and Halo, I guess you could say. There's a lot of stuff there. A lot of quality. Are you playing this on a PC?
No, actually, I was playing Titanfall when it had first come out on the Xbox 360. I played a lot of it. Once I'd burned through thinking about as much as I could do, I went into a match to determine how many Titans could I take down by hand. And so in my true melee only fashion, I would and like it's cool because you feel like you're in the Matrix at times. I remember one of the earlier plays I did is I jumped on the back of a Titan, like punched my way in, dropped a grenade, jumped off of it, boosted across a wall, flipped over to the top of a building, hopped on the back of another one, blew it up, and then used it. I chained like three or
Dude.
four of them together, and I was like, I know Kung Fu.
Dude, and we can play together because all the Xbox One games, last I checked, are crossplay with PC. Last,
Maybe.
last I checked.
See, I don't think they're crossplay yet. I think that's a goal they're heading towards with Windows 10.
Well, when that happens, dude, if that Microsoft's gonna have the advantage there because they own Windows.
Yeah. And that's going to be a huge thing where PC people will be able to play with console people. I think that'll be amazing. Maybe we'll see like a little Smite crossover possibly. You know, things like that.
Dude, I'm so excited about that, and you know it's funny. Like, it's sometimes it's more fun to just stay as a pilot in Titanfall, but when you're in the Titans, you just feel so awesome. You just gotta be super careful, you know, not to get caught out.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Like, you gotta when you play the Titans, you gotta adjust how you play. Like, you feel like you're unstoppable, but you're just a big target. Stay away from buildings where people could jump off of them and go on your back, and yeah. I also like how they sprinkle in the AI to help out.
Yeah, kinda.
It makes the world feel very full. Like, it doesn't have like a lot of games sometimes feel lonely. Like, there's nothing going on. Like, you'll run around forever and never find anyone. So it's kind of cool that how they did that. Though they are pretty much free kills. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's neat because when they pop up, you don't notice right away that they're specters or grunts, and you focus on them, and then you may have missed the real person that's running away or running alongside them, and then he gets you. So you gotta like really be on your guard. So that's kind of what's cool about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main thing, I mean, BFT absolutely. The main thing that killed it was the lack of content beginning in the beginning, the limited number of maps and the hackers early on. But there's so much content now. This is a game that's now, if people come back to it and people promote it now, it's gonna be a whole different story. There's so much gameplay there, and when the crossplay does get fully implemented, like around the world, like across the board, rather. Oh man, it's gonna be. I can't wait to enjoy this with people playing the PC side. It's good. It's O2. Yeah. This is a launch game pretty much for Xbox One. So yeah, about 2 years. So it's finally hitting its stride, but it's worth checking out. If you kind of skipped it, never gave it a chance, you know, you can pick it up for like $20 or cheaper now. It's so worth it. And all the DLC is free. They made all the maps and everything free. The only thing you can pay for is like premium stuff if you want like special spray-on tattoos or weird things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like cosmetic stuff. Yep. Yeah, BFT, that's true, except that's more true on PC. I think on console, people come back more because there's less content. Like, so I'm noticing people coming back to Titanfall. And I find matches very quickly too, so... It's a different dynamic at console. On PC, we have so much content that if a game burns us, we're done because it was like we got a cajillion other games to play. It's like, what do I have in my Steam library? What do I have on my Humble Bundle library? I'll just play that, you know?
Yeah.
We don't care, and there's tons more free to play stuff too. Console, you guys, you know, you tend to be more grateful for what you have, and it's like, oh, if you could get more value out of a game you already bought, why not? Now, another thing I'm gonna say that was a huge thing that they were pushing for in the previous E3s, an Xbox One exclusive that I think also kind of went under the radar after a while is Sunset Overdrive, and I'm really loving this game. It reminds me a bit of like Dying Light, the good parts of Brink. I know a lot of people didn't like Brink. I know, I get it. But the parkour is amazing. You know, it might even be better than Assassin's Creed parkour. I mean, it's got like elements of like there's something else it reminds me of, like with the crazy weapons. It reminds me a little bit of Borderlands. It reminds me a little bit of like Team Fortress. It's just it's crazy, and it's a huge world. It's got a great sense of humor. I love the soundtrack. Some people say they don't like the soundtrack. I do feel they need to make it so that you can use custom soundtracks. Have a podcast playing in the background. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm gonna keep bothering Microsoft about this. Yeah, BFT. Brink had so much potential. The worst thing that killed Brink was the matchmaking. Sometimes you couldn't tell if you were playing against bots or real people, and that ruined the immersion. But that game itself, the gunplay was great, and the objectives, and I wanted that game to succeed so badly. I tried to push for it. I might come back to it still, just for the heck of it. But that game had, that's so sad. But, Sunset Overdrive, I think is totally worth checking out. And it has 8-player co-op. That's crazy. Oh, Light Ray brought me to my next topic, before we start wrapping up, Destiny. So, our friends at the Worst Radio Show, they are huge advocates of Destiny. They're part of the gang. They're part of the Geeky Ants Network. They've even spawned their own Destiny podcast called the Podcast Infinity. So they're all about Destiny. And so much so that their excitement, and also one of our other streamers, Cupcake Envy, that's Cupcake Envy with the extra E there, so it's Cupcake E Envy. She streams Destiny 24/7. Yancy does Destiny Twitch all the time. I finally said, you know what, $20, I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm getting Destiny, so I'll be joining that. We'll probably talk about that a little bit. One thing I will say that I've seen from the extensive gameplay and what everybody talks about, it is a big grind fest. So if you don't like the grindiness of like MMOs, you might not like this. But if you like Halo, if you always wanted like a Halo type kind of game with the RPG mechanics of an MMORPG, with lots of looting and stuff, then I think Destiny's worth a look. But what I hear consistently, you don't want to play this game alone. So if you have Xbox One, add me, Yogizilla, on Xbox Live, and we'll play together. I do not want to play this game alone. I'll probably be the guy that plays it for like 20, 30 minutes by myself and then get bored and leave. Most people I know that play it are playing on PS4, sadly, and I don't have a PS4. I'm not saying it's sad that they have a PS4, though it is, but just JK. So yeah, I remember BFT was playing Destiny really hard, but that's another game that a lot of people were into really hard, and then they lost interest in it because it became a little repetitive. But now they have the PS4 exclusive House of Wolves, is it? And eventually that'll come to Xbox. Yeah. I mean, that's a game. I think with Destiny, it wasn't so much a lack of content. It was more like they really set the bar high, saying there was going to be new content daily, and it's going to be super high replay value, and it didn't deliver quite what people expected. Bungie they were peacocking a bit, and they should have undersold it. Undersold it and over-delivered rather than overselling it. And, whatever. I lost my train of thought. So, yeah, Light Ray saying M Steam KK, Cookie Monster, female streamers Destiny a lot. Yeah. I've been to Cookie Monster stream. I don't think I've seen M Steam. I try to stick to the people that are part of the Geeky Antis crew. I'm kind of biased because we have a stream team, so I just try to support people that join the stream team and cross promote so we can help each other out. Not to say I don't check out other streamers, but I try to stick to people that are within our network. Because then it's easier for us to cross promote and collaborate, and it's a lot more productive use of my time. Plus, I pay for my gigabytes used and bandwidth, my data usage, so I gotta make sure it counts. But supposedly Comcast is removing that fee. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath. BFT says he got burned out on the Destiny. Too much repetition and reliance on RNG drops. There is a lot of RNG. I've heard there's people that have gotten the legendaries and epics like on their in their first week, and then there's people that have been playing from the beginning and they still haven't gotten the Hawk Moon or whatever legendaries are, like the top tier weapons, the end game items. So yeah, RNG is rough, but looting is one of those things, like, it sometimes keeps you hooked, like Diablo 3, It's another game I need to get into finally. But I've been playing Hearthstone. Have you been playing any Hearthstone?
No. I'm actually so far out of the loop with Hearthstone I feel almost as if it's not possible for me to get back into it.
Yeah, I know, because you've been really busy, man. I've barely seen you lately.
Yeah, like I've got some irons in the fire.
Oh, I know.
Irons in the fire.
Well, I know that I was talking about earlier in the show that you're looking to launch a new show on the Geeky Hansen Network, a wrestling themed show.
Mm-hmm.
And our friends at All Games, we have a lot of hardcore wrestling fans over there, so we'll probably get that show on All Games as well. Maybe we could have a Saturday block, Timey Wimey Tea Time, and then a wrestling show. Ooh.
Maybe. I'm working out details right now with the top secret co-host,
Okay.
and I'm actually talking about doing really large events with that, which is going to be kind of cool, like user-inspired Royal Rumbles and some possible predictive. We're gonna basically do ring announcement and possibly let the computers on like a WWE 2K15, 2K16 fight it out, do some announcement, and see if it predicts the pay-per-views. Couple of things like that, we've got a lot of fun stuff. A few interviews getting set up and things. It's gonna be fun.
Sweet.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna have a lot of impact.
Oh, I see that. It's a TNA Impact.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I still know a little something about wrestling still, I'm still kind of in the loop.
I was gonna say, for anyone who didn't get that reference, I'll go back to Yogi's time. Macho Man.
Thanks. Yes, I am an old fart. That's like Macho Man, Jimmy Fly Snooker, Blue Blazer. Was it Blue Blazer? Can't remember that. The Sheik, original old school Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior is a little more recent though.
But see, no. I mean, those were 80s. Those were what we could consider basically golden age. Like if I can make the comic right, they're kind of their golden age. But then you've got like the even older. When I mention names and people's eyes glaze, I know that they were kind of just WWF WWE fans. But then I'm like Bruno San Martino,
Oh,
Killer Kowalski.
Yeah, that's old school.
Billy Graham, and then people just kind of, huh? That's when I'm like, yeah, I got a podcast for you guys.
Now wait, Roddy Piper was pretty early on too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I feel like he was like an icon.
He was, and but even that's kind of the WWE Piper's Pit. I think was probably one of the better known things he was known for.
Yeah.
I remember
Jake the Snake.
One. Jake the Snake Roberts, Dusty Rhodes, American Dream.
Yep.
But like back when it was still broken into territories, that's kind of like the really classic stuff.
Oh, and Andre the Giant, we can't forget him. BFT put that out there.
Doc
course. Savage.
Yep.
Oh man. So yeah, one thing I would recommend, because I really want to see this be a long-term thing. Definitely get some guest hosts, some rotating hosts, because people, life happens and people can't make it. It's so important to have a co-host to keep you engaged. People that are fully invested in it and keep you the ideas coming. Even if they can't make the show, they can share some news bits and discussion points and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's really easy to lose, especially with a weekly format. And there's some people that are crazy and they do daily shows. That's really hard to keep up.
Oh my gosh.
In the ideal world, though.
Yeah. Speaking of things in the background that are just dead set on choosing bad times, got the puppy in the background going off.
Well, that's okay, because we're about to wrap it up anyway.
I found out an interesting fact about the puppy, and I'm gonna make it a first time announcement on Timey Wimey Tea Time.
Oh.
So when my roommate had originally gotten the puppy, they were like, "Oh, it's some kind of black lab mix. It's cute. It's adorable. Look at the little puppy face, right?" And I was hooked, and I was like, "Oh, it is pretty cute. It is pretty adorable." And here we are, roughly 12 weeks later. And I'm like, that is a really big black lab puppy. Like, why is he getting so big? Why are his paws still humongous in proportion to his body?
Hmm.
Because apparently this roommate did not know the difference between a black lab puppy and a predominantly black colored Great Dane puppy.
Oh boy.
And
So you have a
so
Scooby Doo.
I've got a Marmaduke. I've got a big, tall,
Scooby Doo was a
I
Great Dane, wasn't he?
I'm not. I don't think so. He might have been. Um, I do not know the exact lineage of one Scoobert Doo, the third, but I'm sure it can be researched. But
Marmaduke, yeah, Marmaduke's huge.
yeah, he's going to be one of those tall windowsill pie eating dogs, and he's goofy. And apparently, as puppies, they're super energetic and super loud, and
Yeah.
eventually grow to be a pony. So
And you'll need like 20-gallon trash bags to pick up those poopies.
yeah, my roommate's gonna be like, "How am I supposed to do this?" And I'm gonna be like, "Well, here's the number to rent a bulldozer."
Yep,
And
pretty much. You need one of those like huge metallic scoopers that has like the two claws on it, and it clamps down and they and
yeah,
then dump it into like a little rolling like trash bin.
I kind of want to like keep the when someone fails on like Price is Right, that dun dun dun,
I
yeah. I want to keep that queued
have
up
that
on my
sound bit
phone.
somewhere.
I want to keep it queued up on my phone, so they're like, the dog made a mess of the yard, and I hand them a shovel and just play it in my pocket.
Oh man. Well, one more thing on in video games for those playing Soulforge. Well, Hearthstone, I'm gonna try to make it. It's probably not gonna happen. I'm gonna try to make it to rank 10 before the season's over. I haven't been playing that hard, so I'll be happy with rank 10. I think the highest I made it is rank 8 at any time, but it's really competitive now. And I'm noticing that the Goblin versus Gnome, the GVG packs, kind of stink. On Soulforge, there's a new expansion in this weekend. I might have to switch gears because Immortal King expansion is out, and they're doing a legendary draft weekend, and it's guaranteed legendaries. So, yeah, draft play is fun because you draft cards, you can get to keep the ones you pick. So, might be something to do this weekend. But anywho, we're gonna wrap it up for realsies this time. Just a reminder for those that maybe still be contacting Stan as our PR person. The best place to reach us is always TWTT at geekyantics.net or geekyantics on Twitter or just geekyantics.net or the YouTube channel. Those are all good places. All Geeky Antics. You see a theme here? But once again, check out our sponsors. We love them. We appreciate everybody that donates or helps us do affiliate marketing programs and promote and all that good stuff. GeekyAntics.net for their sponsors. And don't forget, TWTT, Timey Wimey Tea Time, can be enjoyed wherever fantastic, beautiful podcasts can be found, including, but not limited to, Stitcher, iTunes, Zune, TuneIn Radio, and Spreaker. And we appreciate all our fellow Doctor Who podcasters and people doing just awesome things in the podcast space. Hopefully we see more support for podcasts on consoles. Yeah, PS4 and Xbox One. Looking at you. Make it a thing. It makes so much sense. Why not be able to just natively support podcasts while someone's playing the game? Because let's face it, some people don't like those soundtracks that you have. So, allgames.com. Join us live by clicking. Now it's really easy. Just go to allgames.com. You don't have to click on anything, and right there on the front page, there's a media player, and you click play. You don't have to go to a separate page. Though if you do go to a separate page, go to the live/chat area. You go to the chat on there, and then join us on IRC. And we're every Saturday on allgames.com. We stream live at noon Eastern, 5 p.m. in London, 4 p.m. in Madrid. That's when we start. And then, of course, we have our website, geekyantics.net. We have forums. We would love more comments, more people signing up for the stream team so we can collaborate and help each other out. We get hundreds of thousands of unique monthly visitors across all our content. We don't get people go on Twitch. They're like, "Oh, you guys don't have that many like live listeners or live viewers," but on the podcast feeds and the website, trust me, is there. People enjoy the content more after the fact. Twitch is just too much of a grind. If you're not showing cleavage or doing something really off the wall, you know, like if you like someone was saying earlier, why don't you have video? We do have video. We just don't have. Why do we have to show our ugly mugs? We're showing a nice little slideshow, and we have little talking points on there, ways to contact us. You know, you don't always have to have a webcam, but you know, that's Twitch. People they expect a certain kind of level of eye candy. I understand it. You know, but for those that are always there on our Twitch shows, we appreciate you. You know, we have a very loyal core of people, and it's not always about tons of people. It's more about having highly engaged people, and you guys keep us engaged with the conversation points, and it's fun. We have some good discussions here on Tea Time and our other shows. That's pretty much it. Don't forget, you know, twitch.tv/geeky antics. We have lots of podcasts and stream events. Oolong, you have anything to pimp out?
No, not really. Twitter, like if you guys want to hear more about the upcoming podcast, I'll be doing some Twitter updates on it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Ta-da!
Awesome. And you can also find Fatal, aka Oolong, on geekyantics.net. He hangs out there too.
Quite often, I kind of lurk the forums and say hi to people and stuff.
Yes, and if you join our live channel, you can find out how to join our TeamSpeak server and be part of our game nights. They often happen on Saturday nights. They happen post-show. So we just do random gaming things, you know, community gaming. So if you're on a TeamSpeak and hanging out there, we might just pull you in and we'll have fun. We might even pull you in for a random show, a random podcast, a random stream. Lots of things can happen there. But you got to be part of the live listening experience for that. Or at least send us a tweet or something or a comment on the site. Anywho, I feel like I'm forgetting something. It'll probably come back to me. Oh, yeah. BFT says Scooby-Doo is a Great Dane.
Okay,
Confirmed.
see, like I said, I'm sure it's Googleable, but I know not that much about Scooby-Doo the Third.
Scooby-Doo. I love that. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us for Tea Time today. I need to get some more coffee in my system. There's a lot to do. But we appreciate you. We got Oolong at the end here, so yay. We got a really good conversation about Supernatural, so I'm excited. Anyway, outro. See you in 2 weeks for the next TWTT. Peace.
Take it easy, guys.
We thank you. We thank you for every crumb, biscuit and cake you bring to the table. Because Doctor Who belongs to all of us. What you bring to the timey-wimey tea time in your live chat participation, comments, likes, shares, tweets and voicemail, all of it means the world to us. Love, true love never fails. Do you like it? If you like what we're doing, well, tell us for God's sake. Shout it from the rooftops at geekyantics.net. Or call it in, 206-415-4987. That's 206-415-4987. That's it. Bless you. So long. And thanks for all the fish. Hold on, it won't be that long. Just a wee while. Because the timey-wimey tea time will be back. We'll return next Saturday with fresh insights, questions and epiphanies about Doctor Who. And heck yes, everything geek. Maybe same bat time. Absolutely the same bat channel. Every Saturday.
Timey-wimey tea time. Me gusta.